What's happening, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Jensen Button career mode series. Last time out we did Bahrain and Jeddah, which both went fairly well-ish. This time in this episode we have the Australian GP and the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, so make sure to smash the like button if you do enjoy this video. Let's get straight into this one. Oh my, what's going on here? Williams coming with upgrades? This is a fake career mode. Okay then, guys, so here we are, got qualifying, and as you can see, it's going to be pretty much full wet conditions here in qualifying, but it's going to be dry for the race. So having to use a dry setup whilst navigating through the wet is going to be quite difficult, but let's see if we can qualify high up the grid, hopefully making it easier for us to score points. I was wrong. It's actually Inter's conditions right now. But it's not really that far off from full wets, as you can see, like literally less than half a second. So yeah, probably best to get out now and try and get some laps in on the Inters before it gets to full wet conditions. So yeah, as you can see, guys, it is pouring down here at the Australian circuit. We're on Inters now, but to be honest, I think it'll be full wets very soon with the way it's raining. This is going to be a very, very tough lap, but we'll try and get it done. And hopefully that means we can secure a decent position just from this lap alone. And we're having to do it in career mode, stuck in with the dry setup as well, when it's almost full wet conditions. This is going to be a tough lap, but if we can get it nailed on, then we should be pretty high up the grid, hopefully. Okay, what I'll try and do now is we'll try and save a little bit of the tires, save a little bit of ERS behind signs, and then go again for one more lap. But so far, P6 with a 30.7, higher than I expected. Maybe some of the front runners haven't gone yet, so we'll see, because we are behind Zhou and Norris, but we're ahead of Ocon and Tsunoda. If we can get this next lap nailed in with less fuel, then it should hopefully mean that we're quicker as well, which will hopefully mean quicker lap time. We've been moved down to 7th place now as Bottas goes ahead of us, in between Norris and Zhou. Oh, okay, so we're 6.5 tenths up almost. That's gonna keep us in P9. So there must be a huge gap towards Gasly. We'll see what time he's done when we go into the pits. Okay, so we would have been P13 roughly, or somewhere around there, but we're P9 now with a 30.0. Let's quickly check what the tires are like. So yeah, there's roughly still about a 4/10 gap between the Inters and the full wet. So we'll stick around with the Inters for our final flying laps towards the end of this session instead of going on to the full wets. Okay, I'm not sure how. I generally have no idea how we've just improved that, but we've somehow done it. Oh wait, we haven't improved. Wait, what? Okay, I'm really confused about everything that just happened there. That last lap was an absolute mess. We ended up with a car park situation and we were stuck between our teammate and Charles Leclerc. However, we do qualify in P10, middle of the pack directly. Albon qualifying last, so yeah, pretty good qualifying from us considering. Let's hope that our race pace is better because our setup is more suited for the dry conditions anyway, so the race should be good. Let's get straight into it. 35% race at Australia. Let's go. Okay then, guys, so here we are for the Australian GP. You can see that it is sunny conditions. So if we move straight on to how the starting grid's going to line up, let's see who qualified in pole position. In pole position, we have Max Verstappen, followed by Lewis Hamilton in second place for the first time, I believe, in this career mode series. And then we move on to the second row. We have in P3, Leclerc, and then Sergio Perez, followed by Carlos Sainz and George Russell in P6. Then we have Norris and Gasly behind them, and then we have ourselves in P9. It looks like there was a penalty behind us. We've got Zhou in P10, Ocon in P11, Stroll in P12, Bottas in P13, with Hulkenberg in P14. Then we have Piastri and Magnussen, followed by Alonso and Tsunoda. And then we have Nick de Vries and our teammate Alexander Albon to round off the grid. And that is how we are going to start the Australian GP. Okay then, guys, so we're about to go up to the start grid now. I've noticed that in FP1, because I actually did it this time, during our practice sessions, we were losing time in the middle of the track. So it seems as if the AI are going to be quick in a straight line and we're going to be quick in the corners. So we have to try and really manage that and see if we can get further away from them so that the straight line speed difference isn't really as bad. So that's going to be the main sort of strategy, especially to the people on the medium tires. But here we go, guys. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5 red lights here for the Australian GP. And lights out. And away we go, getting an absolutely rocket of a start. As we go around George Russell into turn 1. What a move. There we go. We find ourselves up into P6, making 3 positions by the time we even get to turn 1. That was a very, very good start. Oh my god. No, not Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz going slow into that corner as he tries to avoid Perez. And we almost go into the back of him. Was not expecting that. Now, I don't know how much fuel we're actually going to need in this race. I hope that this is enough. We might have to do some lifting coasting. Oh, here comes Gasly. Here comes Gasly. He goes down the inside here. Going to break around the outside. He leaves us the space, thank God, as we defend the move from happening. It has given George Russell the opportunity to dart away from us, though. Kind of needed the DRS in this race. Okay, so we're lap 2 now. Just need to try and focus on getting ourselves into our own strategy. Managing the fuel, managing the tires, and our ERS, of course. Using it when we need it, which is, to be honest, right here. All right, so we're going to have DRS now, moving on from this lap, which means it's going to be hard to keep these guys behind me, especially in that second section of the track. It's going to be very difficult. So I think at this point, we might just let some of them through. And then, again, just keep on our own strategy, put in the laps that we need to put in. Oh, look at the gap between Gasly and Russell. Russell's built up a 5-second gap over the course of these first 6, well, 5-ish laps, I should say, as we just started lap 6. Right behind Gasly, so sector 1 is really, really strong for us. I think this is really making our charge to keep up with Gasly. Because if we had a little bit more understeer through sector 1 whilst being behind Gasly, I think we would have lost DRS as we go into the 3rd DRS zone of the track. I can't believe that there's 4 of them. I don't think passing Gasly makes much sense for us, really, if we're going to be completely honest, because look, Ocon is just ready to swallow up anything that happens. Oh my god, okay, well maybe it does make sense. Gasly makes a mistake going into that corner, and we make the overtake happen. We're not going to have DRS on this next lap, so we're going to have to try and defend like crazy from Ocon, because Gasly's probably going to get past us. I mean, we've got 100% ERS though, so we have the ERS to play with to really defend the position when we need to. Oh, we'll let Gasly go. Break a little bit early. Go on, Gasly. Oh, he's trying to slow us down. Ocon is out of the DRS, but he's trying to slow us down to get Ocon back in. That was a very, very smart play by Gasly. To just block us just a little bit, just to let Ocon back into the DRS. The team play right there was pretty good. The Alpine setup right now is absolutely crazy. If I make just one little mistake, Ocon is just instantly on our gearbox. The straight line speed that they have is insane. But honestly, the DRS is saving us ERS and fuel as well. So it's just best we sit in here. And then hopefully when we're on the soft tires in a couple of laps time, we'll be the quicker ones and we can pull away from these guys. Oh, there's a yellow flag somewhere. I don't know where. It's in sector 3. Who is it? I'm not entirely sure. It looks like maybe someone just made a mistake. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Ocon's looking for the opportunity to overtake us into turn 1. Zhou Guanyu is out of the Grand Prix. Oh, there's Zhou. What the hell? How is that not a safety car? Charles Leclerc and some of the other guys have gone into the pits. But how is that not a safety car? I'm so confused. As Verstappen almost get collected by Pierre Gasly. Zhou's car was literally right where you go to enter the pits. How is that not a safety car? You have to get that out of the way. Oh, Gasly makes a huge mistake. Gasly makes a huge mistake going into the turn 5, I believe, or something like that. I think it's like turn 5, turn 6. That's allowed both... No, that's allowed Hamilton, myself, and Verstappen. 3 places Gasly's lost there. Well, considering he's just passed us, it's now our own hammer time. We're pitting this lap. I'm going to have to try and push as much as we can so that we can be as close to Pierre Gasly, if not overcut him. Not a bad stop there, 2.3. Where are we going to come out? Oh my god. Okay, we were almost just completely collected by Gasly. Just similar to what happened with Verstappen, actually. We're on the softs, just behind Pierre, in P12. Oh no, we're out of DRS. No, this is not good. I'm going to have to use all of my ERS here. Right, I'm going to need to have the sector 1 of my life here, because we can't afford to not be in the DRS. I think we've done enough. Oh god. We've done enough, we've done enough. Now we can use the DRS to save up a little bit of ERS here. Nico Hülkenberg is out of the Grand Prix as Pierre Gasly goes for the move on Valtteri Bottas going into the S section. Are they going to go in side by side? They are. Gasly takes the lead. And there we go. Gasly up into P9 now. Bottas in P10. He's taking the lead of our little three-way battle. And Gasly might actually have the pace to catch up to the guys up ahead as well. So we've had 2 DNFs so far. However, that's not been enough to bring out a VC or a full SC here. Now, I want to keep up with Gasly, so I want to try and maybe overtake Bottas if possible going into turn 3. Wait, what's going on? Do I not have my ERS? Oh, ERS is locked. What's going on? I just have to hope and pray that Valtteri can keep up with Gasly. And that we can keep up with Valtteri. Because our ERS is locked for some reason. I mean, it's good in terms of saving, but we kind of need it here desperately. Oh, Valtteri's going for the move now. They both break super, super late. Oh, there's a bit of a collision there. We get good traction on softs. We were thinking about it. Okay. I have an idea here. It might be risky, but we're going to do it. I'm going to overtake Valtteri. We've got 2 DRS zones here. I'm going to see if that straight line speed can help us maybe get into the DRS of the guys up ahead. I think we might have done enough there, you know, because we're just a little bit outside of the DRS. But I think if we can have a good sector 1 here, we can actually get into the DRS of Norris. I'm using all of my ERS here, gambling. Gasly's now 1.4 seconds behind us. Oh my god, the gamble's paid off. Overtaking Bottas and using all of our ERS on that last lap has allowed us to get into the DRS of Norris. What a play. Well, this is going to be tough because Norris has the straight line speed and so does Ocon. So hopefully maybe they can battle going into this turn 11 or something. I'm not really sure what the turn numbers are now with all the changes to the circuit as we get a massive slide out of that S section. All right, we have to try and do this now. Look at the straight line speed that they've got. They're going side by side into turn 1. Oh my god, okay. It almost worked out for Norris, but at the end, it's going to be an overtake for us. It looks like maybe not. Oh my god, this is a hard battle between Norris. He's defending very well. I don't think we have the straight line speed to be able to overtake Norris. I think he's defended enough to keep that P8 position. We tried it, but it didn't work out. Look at the straight line speed these guys have got now. They're absolutely flying. So it looks like it's going to be a P9 finish for us. I was hoping that I could overtake Norris going into turn 3, and then we could overtake Ocon with the DRS, but Norris very, very well defended there. We drove pretty well. However, we ended up staying in P9, losing out to Ocon and Norris due to the strategy. Okay, well, that's 5 points for McLaren, as just mentioned. Lewis Hamilton taking the Grand Prix with Sergio Perez finishing in P2 and Max Verstappen finishing on the final step of the podium. We finished in P9, started in P9. At least we've got some points that we can bring home for the team. Alexander Albon moving up the grid to P15. However, obviously not enough. We do have 2 retirements, of that being Nico Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu. We'll quickly take a look at how that does for the standings. Now, Sergio Perez leading the championship by 10 points to Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen all the way down in P5. Not the start that the current reigning champion would want going into this season. Ourselves, Jenson Button, we're sitting in P10, pretty cushy right now. Still got 8 points, which is tied with Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris, and 2 points ahead of Valtteri Bottas. If we take a look at the constructors, we're the only ones to have scored points for Williams, so now we are sitting in P7 with 1 point behind McLaren and 2 points ahead of Alfa Romeo. Haas and AlphaTauri being the only teams not to score any points. So what we're going to do now, guys, is hop into qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Okay then, guys, here we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix qualifying. This is sprint week this time, so we are going to have a sprint race in this one. It looks like it's going to be wet conditions to start off the sprint race, so that's going to be very, very interesting. But I believe it is dry for the race, so we're going to stick a dry setup on and see what we can do in qualifying here. So yeah, it's going to be dry for the race, but it's going to be raining in the sprint, so that'll be very, very interesting. Let's hop on a setup now and go straight out and see what our banker lap is going to be. Okay, here we go. Now the Williams has a pretty decent power engine, so hopefully that translates into some pretty good straight line speed. Very interesting. It seems as if our gear ratio is actually too short for a track like Baku, as we go a little bit deep into that corner, so we're going to lose some time there. Oh no, it was George before. It's Lewis now. 40.7 from Lewis Hamilton on his banker. We'll see how close we are to that. Just depends, because again, we rev out very, very quickly here, so that can potentially hurt our straight line speed. Roughly about a second slower. However, we were purple in the final sector, So our straight line speed's there. It's just we need to get the rest of the lap right. All right then, guys, here we go. Final lap of qualifying. Lewis Hamilton, we've just checked the race directory. But Lewis Hamilton, for some reason, did not come out of the pits. So that's his qualifying over. Wherever he is now, that's the highest he's going to finish. As we get turn 1, pretty nice. We don't lock up for turn 2, which is fantastic. 40.2 by Sergio, as we gain roughly 0.3 of a second through turn 2. Max Verstappen now, 39.9. We actually go purple in sector 2. What the hell? We are flying right now. Purple in sector 2 in a Williams. This might be the track for us. Currently almost 0.7 of a second up from what we did in the second run, which was already 0.6 of a second up from the banker lap. We're currently sitting in P11. Where are we going to finish? Oh, I didn't get to see that. Let's see. P6. Let's go. That's our second highest qualifying position. Okay, yep. As you can see, 6 laps here for the Azerbaijan sprint race. It's going to be intermediate conditions for all of it. Currently rocking a dry condition setup with Parc Fermé on. So yeah, that's going to be pretty tough. Hopefully the wet conditions aren't too bad in terms of how the car turns in and everything. But we've got a formation lap. We'll get that done. And then we've got 6 laps to try and improve our position or potentially lose out. All right then, guys, here we go. We've got the Azerbaijan sprint race. We've got 5 red lights here. And lights out and away we go. Getting a pretty decent start. And brake early, just in case. But we do get the advantage on Charles Leclerc. We're up to P5 now. Okay, quick update. We're on lap 3 now. Battling hard with the 2 Ferraris. However, we have wing damage. We ended up clipping one of the walls in sector 2. And we've now got wing damage, which is going to make our defense even tougher. As you can see, Charles Leclerc going for the move there. We were almost 3 wide going into turn 1. It's getting tougher and tougher to defend against these guys with this wing damage now, because I'm feeling it. Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Perez boxed. Perez boxed for soft tires. No way. We're going to be in P3. Let's go. I'm defending with my life here. Well, DRS is enabled. So it is dry enough for DRS. However, I think we're too far into the lap now for that to really mean anything for Sergio. He's lost out way too much time by boxing, since it is just a sprint race. And I'm defending with my absolute life right now. Trying my best not to lock up braking super early to make sure that we don't. We've got the straight line speed, we've got the ERS. We are about to get our highest starting position in an F1 race as JENSON Button in this career mode. And we're only 4 races in. Max Verstappen wins the sprint race. I'm using all my ERS here. We have to absolutely send it. Come on, with the engine. Please, please. I think we've got enough straight line speed. Yes, let's go. P3 in a sprint. Well, there you go. That's the sprint, guys. Currently sitting in P3. So we get 6 points for the sprint race. Wow, okay. I wasn't expecting Perez to box on that final lap. That gives us an additional 6 points, which puts us in P7 in the championship with 14 points now. Gap to Perez, only 8 points from Lewis. Max Verstappen also gaining a significant amount of points as well. Does that put us up into the constructors? It does. We are now drawing with Alpine in 6th place. If we can get a good result here in the race, we could even jump them and potentially Aston Martin for a P4 in the constructors. So let's get straight into this Grand Prix. Okay, guys, here we are going on to the grid now. Gonna be very important to get a good start here, because I want to try and keep the Ferraris behind us. The pace, don't know how the pace is going to be in the dry conditions. I'm hoping that it's good enough to really battle with the Ferraris and stay in this top 5, but qualifying in the race is very, very different. So we'll have to wait and see. But for now, starting on the start, we should hopefully get a good getaway here, as we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And lights out and away we go. Getting a pretty good start here, matching Hamilton. As we're going to go around the outside into turn 1. Hamilton gets on the throttle just that little bit sooner, as he almost closes the door on us here. Verstappen getting a pretty good getaway as well. Doesn't look like we're going to get past Hamilton. And it looks like the Ferraris as well are going to be mighty quick. Look at the straight line speed there. This is definitely going to be a Grand Prix where I just have to defend as much as I possibly can, which obviously isn't going to be a lot here. As you can see, Perez and Leclerc both getting past. Their straight line speed just incredible compared to mine. However, Perez did run out of ERS on that lap, so he is using a lot here. We've got George behind us and we've got Alonso as well that we need to keep an eye on. Oh, as we get some rear locking. I'm guessing that's just because of the dirty air though, because to be honest, we're on 57 brake bias already. What I might do is I might put it up to 58 just to try and avoid that rear locking. Okay, so far so good. However, DRS is enabled now, so that's going to make defending a lot more difficult because we've got 2 DRS zones that we've got to deal with, and they're 2 pretty long DRS zones as well. So as you can see, George Russell just an insane amount of pace here. Brake at the normal point. George almost squeezes the door on us there. That could have caused a massive issue if we didn't manage to do our braking properly. If we had locked up the tires, that could have been a George Russell Max Verstappen incident in real life. Boom, we're in the pits. Looks like Verstappen and Hamilton are already gone in and out of the pits. They're flying at the moment. It's going to be no chance of getting up to the lead guys once again. No way. You've got to be kidding me. Well, we did a right turn in, but the team couldn't get our right tire off, and because of that, it meant that we have now lost so much time. We were ahead of Alonso going into the pits. We are now 3 seconds behind. All right, well, that's everyone else going into the pits. We're not going to be able to undercut George Russell, most likely, just because we lost so much time in the pits. Might even get overcutted by some people. Yeah, there he goes. So George Russell comes out way ahead of us. We would have actually undercutted George if we had not had that issues with the pits. So yeah, the team really screwed me over this time. Okay, this lap's been even quicker. As Sergio Perez is a 42.8. We'll see what our pace is like. See how much further back are we compared to the Red Bulls. We've actually gained quite a lot of time on the guys behind as well. We've got DRS. We're going to overtake Magnussen here. We've got a lot of slipstream, a lot of DRS to play with. As we do a 43.3, which means, yeah, assuming that Perez didn't have DRS, which probably gained me an extra 2-3 tenths. Yeah, we're roughly around 7 to 8 tenths slower than the Red Bulls right now. Okay, 42.5 from Charles. However, that is on softs. And it does look as if they're in a little bit of a train there. So, yeah, roughly less than a second, 8 tenths of a second slower than the softs right now. I'll take that. That's some decent pace. Okay, well, maybe not. We did battle with Magnussen on that lap, so we are slower on that lap in particular. But let's see if I can keep in clean air and see what the pace is like. So, it seems as if the Ferraris are getting quicker and quicker every lap now. 42.0. That's 1.3 seconds at my best behind the Ferraris. It's pretty crazy. We have made up a lot of time on Magnussen, though. We're currently sitting in P8. Yeah, we've really been screwed over by our pit crew there, because I feel like we should have been in P6 at this moment. Okay, Esteban is a lot closer this time round. He's only 4 tenths of a second this time, so we're going to have to go super defensive straight away and hope that our straight line speed is enough. As we go on to the final lap of the race, here comes Esteban. Going to go around the outside, going into turn 1. Brake as late as we can. And Esteban still... Oh my god, we actually made contact a little bit there. Let's see if we can get a better exit than Esteban. We don't, because he blocks us. Oh, I'm going to need to use all my ERS and the DRS here. Try and get around him. We do. He brakes so much later than us. However, we are able to defend the position around the outside. What a battle between myself and Esteban for the P8 position. As Mark's just said, Alex Albon is out of the Grand Prix once again, which means all of Williams' hopes fall on Jenson Button. Can Jenson Button defend for half a lap against Esteban here? If we could just get the Sector 2 right. Let's see if we could get a good turn 8, 9, and 10. Oh, massive, massive. As Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix That's a massive exit there. That's really, really helped. Turn 15. Let's see how we can do here. We look at the times. We've gained about a tenth of a second off that exit. I'll use a little bit of ERS here, and then as soon as we get close to that DRS zone, I'm going to start using the rest of my ERS. Oh, we need to use it even earlier, actually. Here comes Esteban. Are we going to have enough straight line speed? We don't know yet. He's not catching. He's not catching. We're going to keep a P8 position. Let's go. Okay then, guys. So that is the weekend finish. We are going to take a look at the results for the entire weekend. Max Verstappen taking away 33 points, followed by Carlos Sainz with 23 and Lewis Hamilton with 22. Our P3 in the sprint race means that we take home 10 points, which is fantastic, drawing with George Russell this weekend. Alexander Albon retiring in the Grand Prix, which means once again all of Williams' hopes fall on Jenson Button. However, he has retired in the last 2 races. It's not very, very good from his point of view. We don't know what's happening with the car, but if we take a look at the standings now, we are 18 points, which means we are P7 in the Drivers' Championship, with Sergio Perez leading by 2 points now to Carlos Sainz, and then 3 points back is his teammate Max Verstappen. So it's a very, very close battle for first place right now, with 4 drivers within 5 points of each other. That's pretty insane. If we look at the constructors, a little bit less of an exciting battle here, with Red Bull leading by 13 points. Williams currently sitting in P5 with 18 points, with Alpine behind us by 2 points as well. So yeah, Jenson Button keeps scoring points. However, Alexander Albon isn't really helping us in that department. So hopefully, as we upgrade the car, we can end up getting that second driver essentially to score some points with us. But that's going to be it for today's episode of my Jenson Button career mode. If you did enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button. I would like to thank all of my members for supporting the channel. If you do want to help support the channel past just liking and watching the videos, make sure to check the join button down below, and I'll catch you guys in my next career mode video.